Hello everyone, my name is Bren, and welcome to my Let's Play of Kingdom Hearts Final Mix for the PlayStation 3. First things first, we're going to set our parameters. I'm going to be playing on Proud Mode. And set this to auto so it's like normal, and leave the vibration off. Now I know I technically already played Kingdom Hearts on my channel before, but that was the PlayStation 2 version of the game without the Final Mix extras added in. So I figured I'd go through the game again on the PlayStation 3 version. Also keep in mind that I'm only going to be able to show a part of this cutscene. I'm going to have to remove the other section of it because of the audio. The audio in the cutscene is done by a Japanese singer named Utada Hikaru, and there's some pretty heavy copyright on her song.
I've been having these weird thoughts lately. Like, is any of this for real or not?
And fast forward, and here we are at the game. So much to do, so little time. Take your time. Don't be afraid. The door is still shut. Now, step forward. Can you do it? And these are just the basic tutorials that teach you how to walk, run, jump, etc. But first it tells us we have a little time, and then it tells us to take our time. What gives? Power sleeps within you. If you give it form, it will give you strength. Choose well. Okay, this is going to be how we raise our stats in the game. What item you choose is going to determine what sort of stat boost you get in the game, although it's actually not very big. What I'm going to choose is based on what abilities you learn, because what item you first pick also determines what abilities you get. Which I'm not going to list all of them here. If you want, I can try and find a guide that I can link to. But I'm going to go with Magic, because I like the abilities that Magic gives, and I also like the MP boost it gives. Now what will you give up in exchange? Most people, if they're playing on Proud Mode, they like to choose the Shield because of the second chance ability and also a slight increase in defense. I'm going to go with Magic because I actually like the boost in MP that it gives you. A lot of people don't know this, but it gives a third type of boost besides just your base stats and your abilities. Choosing the sword increases your item slot by 1, choosing the shield increases your item slot by 2, and choosing the staff increases your MP by 2. And since I generally like to cast a lot of health and defense magic, I prefer to have the MP as opposed to items, which I rarely use items in this game. So for me, the staff is just a much better fit. You've gained the power to fight. Alright, you've got it. Use this power to protect yourself and others. Basic HP and MP is on the right. We don't have anything that uses MP yet, but we will eventually. There will be times you have to fight. Keep your light burning strong. Let's defeat these guys. But no, magic power is based on how much MP you have. You don't actually have a magic stat. It's based entirely on your MP. A lot of people get confused and think that MP is based off of strength. It's not. It's based on MP. And for certain spells that last for a while in battle, like Stop and Arrow, the amount of MP that you have increases the duration that they're going to stay before you have to cast them again. So while strength or defense would actually be the better choice if you plan on just going straight through the game without doing a whole lot of the extras, I plan on doing all of the super bosses and stuff, so I'd rather have the MP than the slight increase in defense. Especially since at that point in the game you can craft items later on to manually boost your stats. So the small difference in stats that you get based on what weapon you choose at the beginning of the game really don't matter later on. In short though, if you're a beginner, you might want to go with the shield. If you're an experienced player, you can decide for yourself. But honestly, I never see any redeeming value in choosing the sword. Aside from maybe abilities, but that's it. Abilities were also changed in the final mix version of the game, so if you're choosing your abilities based on what you've played in the PlayStation 2 version, you really might want to think that through again, because a lot of stuff has been switched around. And I know I've been talking about this for the entire episode, but it's kind of important. You can also smash this to proceed, but lifting it is quicker. I also like that triangle button is now used to examine stuff. It used to be the last slot on the menu, which would get kind of annoying to switch to. I like that it's just one button press now. Hold on, the door won't open just yet. First, tell me more about yourself. Select you can go in a first-person view. I don't think you can move around when you're in first-person view, though. It's just to look for items and stuff. Give you a quick little zoom in. What's most important to you? Now this is another thing that determines how the game plays out. I'm going to go mainly with the bottom option for most of these. So what are you afraid of? Being indecisive. I'll explain what they do in a second. What do you want out of life? I know I chose the middle one for one, but just so I didn't sound too self-centered, I guess. You want friendship, you're afraid of being indecisive, you want to be strong. Your adventure begins in the dead of night. Your road won't be easy, but a rising sun awaits your journey's end. The day you will open the door is both far off and very near. But no, what that does is it chooses how much experience you will need to gain for leveling up. If you choose mainly the top answers, you will gain experience quickly until you reach level 50, until after that your experience gain will be very, very slow. If you choose the middle option, it's pretty much basic. all the way through level 1 to level 100, you don't have any real boosts or decreases in how you gain experience. And if you choose mostly the bottom option, your experience gain will be very slow from levels 1 to 50, but it will be a lot faster up to level 100. And considering that I'm going to be doing all the stuff in the game for the most part, like the super bosses and whatever, I'm really going to want to be able to gain levels past level 50 pretty quickly. So in the long run, so long as you aren't doing like a speed run and you're going for everything, choosing to start the game at night, so to speak, it doesn't actually start like physically at night, but basically what it shows you for what you could pick. Choosing to start at night is the fastest way to get to level 100. However, if you're speedrunning the game, you might want to go with daytime because you don't need to be much higher than 50 to beat the game. This is where you save. Also, I'm not going to be doing the no equipment, no continues challenges. I've already done those, so I've already obtained the trophies for them. I also feel like they take longer than they're worth, and that you can pretty much get the same info out of a regular style Let's Play. Though if you're going through them, you might want to choose the shield and drop magic. If that's the type of speedrun you're doing. You also might want to do them on beginner's mode. Specifically for the speedrunning one, it'll make things go a lot faster. The closer you get to your light, the greater your shadow becomes. But don't be afraid. And don't forget. Now, there are only 3 places in which you can attack this boss. Both of his hands, and his head. Now, each time you perform a finishing combo on his head, you will gain 2 experience points. So it's actually a good idea to try and attack his head as much as possible rather than his hands. You will summon Little Heartless here, but they're not too difficult to deal with. Each time you defeat one of these little guys, they'll also drop little HP balls for you. Now this is the attack I hate the most, because it sends projectiles after you. If you hit them, you can destroy them before they do any damage, though this is kinda difficult. I'm trying to get up to his head. Oh, come on, really? See, because I was attacking his head, it granted me enough experience that I could level up and get better strength mid-battle. Defeating enemies isn't the only way to gain experience. You can also gain experience by doing things like blocking attacks, or performing special moves, or hitting elemental damage. Wherever you see tech, and then the number, it's because you're dealing a special type of damage rather than just defeating an enemy. Whereas if just a number appears, it's because you defeated an enemy. This boss is kind of unnecessarily long, in my opinion, just because his hands or his head need to be in a place where you can hit them. I mean, he's not difficult by any means. There we go. But don't be afraid. You hold the mightiest weapon of all. So don't forget. You are the one who will open the door.